Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to Journey to Wholeness Radio on IntellectualRadio.com. My name is KJ Davis, and I am the founder and owner of the Journey to Wholeness Center and this afternoon's host. So I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in. I would also like to say thank you for being so patient with us as we were off the air for a few weeks due to a lot of holidays, vacations, and things that I had going on personally. One of the things that we talk about and we focus a lot on this show really are topics about holistic healing, health, and wellness. And the reason I bring that up in the context of vacations and taking time off is because a lot of individuals really need to invest more in their own peace of mind, and that comes with taking breaks and taking some time off. So I spent a week in Puerto Vallarta with my two boys, who are 15 and 13, and just having that ability to have that downtime, because what people don't realize is children's lives are very hectic. And they're moving in a thousand different directions, and they need a change of pace and a change of scenery. So just having the opportunity to spend some alone quality time with my sons and really bond and relax was very therapeutic and very healthy for us individually and as a family. So I want to strongly encourage people. I know a lot of times we can come up with lots of excuses not to do it. I'm just too busy at work. I don't have the finances, but it is very critical, very pertinent that you make a way happen as you do with anything else in your life, even if it's a quick road trip to a park. There are lots of beautiful places in the Midwest that we can begin to travel and explore with our family. So that's just my 2 cents on that and why we haven't been on the air in a few weeks. So as I said before, thank you for staying tuned in to Journey to Wholeness Radio on IntellectualRadio.com. So today I bring to you a very interesting topic. And it is a topic that is very, very relevant for people like me and my generation and my parents' generation, because now we're starting to see our parents transition to the next phase in their lives and what some people are terming seniors. So it's very important. Today's topic, bringing love back into senior healthcare. So as we begin to watch our parents transition into seniors, one of the things that's very important as our parents begin to retire, and for some of the younger audience, grandparents who are retiring, who are now dealing with different health issues, and even if it's not a health issue, the issue of now I'm retired, what is out there for me to do? What is out there for me to experience? How do I stay connected to myself? How do I find doctors and practitioners who honor the fact that I am aging and really care? They really care about it. And I'm not just a number or a Medicare patient, and it's just let's get this person through the system because their life expectancy is short and they're going to leave here soon anyway, so let's put them in a home. I mean, there are a lot of opinions out there about that. It's really close to me because now my mom is retired and she's a senior, and just witnessing and understanding her quality of life, her need for really good healthcare facilities and practitioners to help not only manage her healthcare, but really help her to stay in a place of peace and balance and wellness. So it's just not the medical aspect of it. It really is the personalization, the socialization, them needing and wanting a sense of community, a sense of family. So that's what we're going to talk to you guys about, is about options and places and opportunities that your loved ones can take advantage of. And I have two very, very interesting guests with me today, and they are both from the GenCare Senior Medical Facility. First, I have Miss Diane Dorsey.
Hello, hello.
Hi,
Thank you for having
Diane.
me.
You are welcome. And she is a member support specialist.
Yes, I'm a member support specialist, and what that is when someone comes into our center, I'm usually the first person that they talk to. And what I do is I explain GenCare to them. I take them on a tour of the center because we want you to see actually what GenCare is.
Yes.
We give them a tour, and once they're done with their VIP tour, then we sit down and we go deeper into what are their medical needs, what are they looking for, and if our GenCare Center is the right fit for them.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. And next we have Terrence Wright, who is a member development manager at GenCare.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
Yes, and as a member development manager, what we are responsible for is a lot of interaction with the community, internally as well as externally, but a lot more external than anything. We do a lot of networking and engaging the community, trying to basically tell our story and sharing essentially what we do at GenCare and what we do, how we treat our patients, and basically going out into the community, talking to anybody that'll listen.
Yeah.
Whether it be, mom or dad that is looking for a new doctor, or it's actually dealing, talking with, the individuals in the community who are actually influential and responsible for just helping and working with seniors, to actually, dealing with brokers and things of that nature who actually get in front of a lot of seniors on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
So we have a lot that we actually do in terms of that, as well as helping back at the center with some of the tours and actually some of the events that we put on.
Awesome. So I became familiar with GenCare. Actually, the Journey to Wholeness Center is in Oakland, Illinois. And one of our targeted client groups are seniors. So we offer special senior yoga classes because the thing that is very important for seniors is mobility.
Yes.
And flexibility. So our senior yoga is very gentle. We do chair yoga, which really enables seniors to take the fear out of doing something physical and really focus on the mind, body, spirit aspects of yoga, as well as being able to leverage joints that don't move the same as they used to, being able to provide them strength and flexibility. So because that's one of our target markets, I happen to be driving down 95th Street and I see GenCare.
Nice.
And it's GenCare Senior Senior Center, Medical Center. And so I was very curious about what GenCare is, as I'm sure a lot of our listeners are, because they are starting to pop up in various locations all around. So if you guys can tell us exactly when someone comes in for that tour, when they come in and you're talking to them about GenCare, what is it that you do specifically, and how is it that you are able, what can your clients expect from coming to a GenCare facility?
Absolutely. One of the things that Diane mentioned briefly that is at the center of our mission is treating every patient like their VIP. And so from the time that an individual comes through that front door at GenCare to all the way back in the center when they're actually getting their health care, they're going to be treated as if they are a VIP. From just the front end, knowing their name. Mom, dad comes in the center, they're going to be greeted, "How are you doing, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so?" Even before they actually state who they are. We don't have sign-in sheets like you do at most doctor's offices. You sign in a sheet and then you go take a seat and they call you. That doesn't happen in our centers. Essentially, we have one or two systems that we utilize. Either our center patients will have something called a life card, where they swipe and immediately their records are brought forth. And ultimately, before that even happens, that front end person is trained to know their name and to remember their name. And so literally they will say, "How you doing, Mr. So-and-so? How have you been since the last time we saw you?" And from that moment forward, it is as if they're going to be treated like family. And so we pride ourselves on what we call the patient experience. And that's how we do it.
I love that.
Yeah. That's just a small sample of what we do. In addition to that, when a patient actually is getting health care in our center, they are going to have an experience like they do with no other doctor's office. First of all, a typical doctor's appointment with our doctors is going to be about 20 minutes. As we know, a lot of times when we go see a doctor, we get ushered in and we get ushered out, and you may not have the seat may not have gotten warm under your butt. That doesn't happen in Gen Care. All first appointments are going to be about 40 minutes, and that's the time in which a doctor spends just getting to know you and understand what your concerns are, as well as what a doctor may have been treating you for prior to entering our doors. And they're trained in that way to make certain that essentially they get to know you and they build a relationship with you as a result of such. And so literally each patient is going to see their doctor on average about 20 minutes, which allows us ability to, and because of how we're situated, all our doctors have what we call small panels. You say, what does that mean? What is a panel? A panel is essentially the number of patients a doctor sees. And so in our center, there's no doctor that has over 450 patients, period. So in a typical traditional doctor setting, that is on average of 2,000 or 3,000 patients that they may see. Mm-hmm. So what doctors even love about Gen Care is that when you come there, you're able to see a lot less patients that you would normally be able to see, and you're able to actually have a more personal relationship with those patients.
So do those doctors move around to various Gen Care facilities, or are they pretty much stationed within one facility?
Most of our doctors are actually in one location.
Okay.
There are a couple that do move from one center to another, but they have set days where they're in that center. It should be moved from a different center, but the majority of our doctors are planted in one center. What we have, in addition to primary care, we also make available to our center patients the specialists that many of our patients need. So what that does is it eliminates the need to have to go multiple places to get to see your doctors. Right. Because if you need to see a cardiologist, instead of having to go from one side of town to another side of town to see that cardiologist, you're able to do so right within the actual center. Wow. Because that specialist is going to spend some time in that center sometime that month.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So what else do you offer outside of just traditional primary care, health care, mm-hmm. medical care? Are there any other activities or things that you do for mm-hmm. the seniors within the center?
Sure. From a medical perspective, we also offer the ability to do the lab work right in the center. Okay. So when your doctor orders a blood work or you need to do a urinalysis, instead of having to go to a separate lab to do that, that's also able to be done right in the center itself, as well as x-ray. We have an x-ray technician that comes into each center, and they're able to do that right there in the center for the patients. So again, we eliminate the need to have to go multiple places.
Which is really key, and not to cut you off, that's really key for seniors, because mm-hmm. seniors don't like to travel a lot. They mm-hmm. don't like to travel distances. They don't like to run around. So it's just almost like a one-stop provider.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we aim to do, is to be able to provide it all as a one-stop shop. Mm-hmm. Now we recognize it's not everything that you're not going to offer everything that a patient may need, but we try to offer as many of those services that the majority of individuals use right in the actual center. We also have a pharmacy dispensary as well. So should your doctor need to write out a prescription for an individual, instead of having to go to a separate location to pick up that prescription, they're able to do so right in that center. And we know how important that can be, because how often have you gotten to the pharmacy and you realize, oh, that prescription costs X, Y, and Z dollars. Can I switch the prescription? Now you're in that back and forth between the pharmacy Absolutely. And the doctor's office trying to get a prescription switch, as opposed to being able to get that prescription right in our center itself. Right. So we offer a lot of those things right there in the center. One of the elements of benefits that we offer that is not offered by most Medicare plans and original Medicare itself is acupuncture. We have an acupuncturist that comes right into the center, and they're able to provide that for pain management should an individual need those services. And as we all know, Medicare doesn't cover that. We absorb the cost on those services for patients when they need it.
So one of the things that Diane talked about a lot during one of our meetings and discussions was socialization and how important it is for seniors to have that outlet to go to. So what are some of the things that you guys specialize in terms of socialization or programs that you offer seniors within the center that they can participate in?
Sure.
Well, I'm from the Oakland location. We have 5 locations throughout the Chicagoland area. In every location, we have different events or patient-focused events going on. So I know at our Oakland location, we have things like bingo.
Right.
That gives them a chance to come out, socialize with their peers, and enjoy some time away from the home. Because what happens as seniors, as they get older, the TV becomes the friend.
Right.
The TV becomes who they are. And we realize that when a person sits and does nothing, they become vegetative. And if you get them out, you get them socialized, you have them where they can get into a setting with their peers, they become well. So we also noticed that, and Gen Care developed a program where within the centers we do different things to keep them socialized.
Awesome.
Some of them are physical, some of them are just social activities, like you said, bingo, other kinds of things, from arts and crafts to coming in and maybe watching a movie. Or I've had loteria done in our center as well. In terms of social activities, but then there's also physical activities through programs like Silver Sneakers, where seniors can come out and work on some of those strength and balance things that you shared that are brought forth with yoga classes and things like that. My center has belly dancing, yoga, line dancing.
All right.
So there's a number of things physically individuals can do as well as socially that gets the seniors out moving and at the same time enhances the ability to be physically healthy.
Right.
Because as you can imagine, there's a number of individuals who are just sedentary, as Diane shared, or they don't have loved ones that live close by, that don't come by, or may not come by and take them out and get them going. But those seniors literally utilize that center beyond just going to a doctor's office. And it becomes one of those destinations that they make part of their daily routine or weekly routine. And they're actually getting in to see their friends and all that other good stuff all the while.
So how do seniors participate? Do they have to be seen by a doctor there in order to participate in the activities? Or do you allow seniors to come and participate in the activities? Let's say that if there's a Gen Care in their community in Oakland and they just want to go to the belly dance class, can they do that? Or do they have to be seen by, one of the practitioners, one of the doctors?
Yeah, certain classes require a Gen Care membership, like our Silver Sneakers class. However, an individual can come in and take advantage of the line dancing class. We have other activities like senior fitness in our center as well, that an individual doesn't have to be a member of the Gen Care Center to actually take advantage of. So we have sometimes seniors that come in to actually take advantage of those activities, and as a result just happen to see, oh wow, you guys are a doctor's office and you do this, that, and the third. And so from that, opportunities are created for individuals to also see that center and see the great care that individuals are taking advantage of. And sometimes it gives individuals like Diane and my team as well the ability to just tell our story again and expose people to what we're doing from a different perspective.
Very interesting. So is Gen Care a new facility, a new concept? Like, how long have you all been around? And you mentioned that you have 5 centers in the Chicagoland area now.
Yes, we have 5 centers in Chicagoland. We're in Glenwood, we're in Oak Lawn, We're in Ashburn, which is 87th in California. Let me give you the addresses so you can kind of have perspective. Glenwood is 193rd in Halstead. Ashburn is 2734 West 87th. Oak Lawn is 6101 West 95th. Berwyn is 6326 Cermak Road. Jeffrey Manor is 2231 East 95th Street. And so those 5 centers have been in Chicago as we've been in this market 3 years. But we've been operating in Florida for about 27 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're a family-owned doctor's office. So all the locations across the nation are actually owned by one family. We're in several markets besides Chicagoland. We're in New Orleans, Atlanta, Louisville, Kentucky, Virginia, Tidewater, and Richmond, as well as Miami, Florida. And yeah.
Awesome. I really do like the concept. And I think what our audience would find interesting too is both of you all have a really strong passion for what you do, and it really does come across. So how did you get started in terms of your career and working with seniors and supporting seniors and supporting the senior medical community?
Well, I was fresh out of high school. I'm not going to tell you what year that was, but I was fresh out of high school. And I worked for a company that was focused on home-based senior care.
Okay.
And I realized then that I love it. I love talking to seniors. I love learning what they know. So I realized that this is where I was supposed to be. This is what I was supposed to do. And as I got older, my mom got older.
Yeah.
So looking at the struggles that my mom has and some of the things that she's had to go through, it made me drive harder because I want my mom to have the best possible health care there is. So yeah, that's what pushed me into this field, into Gen Care, because I saw the model. We treat you like you're a part of our family. And that's how I want my mom to be treated.
Sure.
And everyone has that same passion there.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. That's what I want to hear.
Absolutely. My journey has been a little windy. I actually am an accountant by education, but I couldn't stand it. It was way too starchy for me. And so I did some soul searching some years ago and left the accounting world to go into financial advising. And my journey was there, and I'd spent about 10 years there. And then really over that time period, the majority of my clients actually ended up being seniors. I couldn't stand working with individuals in my same demographic because I just felt that they didn't have the same focus that the seniors did. And really, an opportunity came for me to be an agent in what they call the Medicare Advantage world. And so I left the financial advising world to go strictly into the Medicare Advantage world, where I worked with seniors on a day-to-day basis, talking about their Medicare benefits. And so I was there for about 5 years. And the interesting thing was I came into Gen Care one day to do a tour from an agent perspective and saw how different it was from the traditional doctor's office. Because for years I had been sending patients to doctors, and I could tell you from an agent, I would a lot of times do so with trepidation, because in some instances I knew a patient would go into a doctor's office and have a great experience. And at the same time, there were examples where I'd send them into a doctor's office, and that patient would come back and say, don't send me to that doctor's office again. And so when I came into Gen Care and saw this model and how they put the patient first, and they, as you shared, are not a number, and they're literally part of the family, I was blown away. And so from there, I literally went back and found this opportunity and literally said, within probably 3 months, submitted my resume, and here I am. And it was just because I had a chance to really see, and have been promoting it ever since.
Yeah. And I really do see you two as advocates of senior health care. And that's what's needed. That's what seniors need. They need advocates. They need to feel included and to feel that people are really a part of their team, and they don't feel thrown away by their jobs, by their families. And now I'm getting older. So I really do I really do like that concept, and I really do like what you guys are doing, value what you all are doing at Gen Care.
Thank you.
So for those individuals, so much so that I'm like, I'm gonna make my mom watch this so she can go over there.
Well,
So
tell her come see me.
definitely.
Absolutely.
So for those individuals who are also really liking and understanding what you guys are saying and are interested in Gen Care, what is it that they need to do to become a member? And what type of programs you have in terms of, do you accept all major insurances, or is it just Medicare, or how does that work for that senior, that individual who is interested in learning more and walking through your doors?
Sure. A major part of the process is to actually come in and take a tour. We encourage individuals to come in and actually see everything that we're sharing. Literally, a person can walk in and do that. A person can call in to schedule time to do that. Because we know everybody's busy, and a lot of times they want to make certain that, again, we give you the best VIP experience. If you want to schedule that, that's great. But our individual can just walk in, and we will literally take them around the center and show them everything that they'll have access to on a daily basis in that center. So that's one of the first important steps that an individual can take. And then the other thing that we'll do is we'll sit down, as Diane shared with you, and find out kind of what's important to you about your healthcare. What is that, what's happening for you right now that you don't necessarily care for and would like to improve, and see if we can't help you in that area.
And this is free so far.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
So far, no money.
No money.
Okay.
No money at all.
Clarify.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There is absolutely no membership fee for being part of our doctor's offices. Okay. The key is that an individual's got to have one of the Medicare-related programs that we accept. And so essentially we have several plans, Medicare Advantage plans, that we do accept. They are typically from a number of companies, from Humana to Aetna to WellCare, Community Care Alliance, as well as Blue Cross Blue Shield. MMAI is a specific plan within that umbrella. And so even if an individual doesn't have one of those programs, what we will do is find out if there's not a way for us to bridge them to a plan that we do accept. And so a person can come in with another company, and if it's a plan that's related to Medicare, then we'll find out whether we can change them or help them to make that change today, or if it needs to be something that's part of the open enrollment process, which starts on October 15th and ends on December 7th. So we would literally have those conversations and find a way, especially if they love the center and they love all that we do. We want to try to be problem solvers there and figure out the solution for them.
Absolutely. So once they have made the decision, there still isn't a membership fee.
Still
once
no
they've
member.
made a decision, then you from there align them with a specific primary care physician.
Absolutely.
And you give them a schedule of activities and
Essentially, when they come in, our team will literally walk with them through that whole process. If there is what we call a doctor's change that needs to be done, the team will assist with that process. They will even schedule that first appointment as well, because our goal is to make certain that ultimately you go from just an interested individual to an actual patient of the center, and you get those first appointments. And literally, and Diane can confirm this, we literally can tour someone today, and if that slot is available, have them in for an appointment the next week. That is just how the center is situated. And so when that happens, the team will make certain that that appointment is scheduled for them. They have their new patient paperwork, and literally throughout that process, just making certain that everything is taken care of for it.
So on average, how crowded is the facility? You know, one of the concerns of seniors and a lot of people when they go see doctors is just, you know, coming in and being there all day long. Absolutely. and waiting. So do you have a process of time management, or just not having, you know, 100 seniors just sitting waiting on a particular physician, and how do you manage that?
We manage that by our actual schedule. One, from the beginning, we have small panels. So that means ultimately we don't have everybody as a patient, you know? So the way the schedule is set up, when an individual comes in for that appointment, they're not going to be sitting in the lobby for 2 or 3 hours. That does not occur in our center. And so that schedule is created to make certain that there's enough time for that appointment and then for the next one to follow behind. So if it's a new patient appointment, there are certain slots that those can fill. And because those are 40 minutes, there's going to be enough time allotted. There's not going to be a situation where individuals are doubled and tripled and quadruple booked for a particular doctor, thus leading to 2 and 3 hour waits in the lobby.
Absolutely.
It's not situated in the way that schedule is created. When we set that appointment for that individual, it will make certain that that wait time is like I think it's like 20 minutes or less when they hit that first lobby, you know. And so we also, I didn't share this earlier, but it is important to understand that we also have the ability to do same day appointments as well. And you might say, well, how can you guys do that? Again, because we have small panels that we make certain that we have the ability to fit an individual in should mom or dad wake up in the morning not feeling well and need to see a doctor. They can literally come do a walk-in and we'll fit them into that schedule. Now, in those instances, they may not necessarily have that 20 or 30 minute wait for their appointment, but we will fit them into that actual count.
They can get seen that day.
Can get seen that day within reason. And so those are the types of things we do. And one of the things that Diane and myself failed to mention, our model of delivering healthcare has been proven to reduce hospitalizations by 38%.
Awesome. Us giving GenCare patients a 5-year increase life expectancy.
Wow.
And one thing I do want to touch on is with GenCare, all of our patients have the ability to utilize our transportation within 6 miles of any one of our centers. So if you live within 6 miles of any one of our centers, we are able to provide you free transportation to and from your doctor's appointment. Therefore, you don't have to get up and go, oh my goodness, my eyes aren't feeling well today, or my legs aren't working well today, I don't really want to drive. You don't have to, as long as you're within 6 miles of that center. And now here's the thing, you got to call 3 days in advance to set up transportation. But as long as you're within 6 miles of that center, we will provide transportation to and from your doctor.
That is awesome. Do you guys also provide transportation to some of the activities? Like if someone needs transportation to bingo or something like that, it's just only
it's just doctor's appointments.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, unfortunately. And what that also helps to do in a number of instances for individuals is, I know as an agent, I often talk to individuals and they would say, well, my daughter takes me to my appointment, my doctor's appointments. My son takes me to my doctor's appointment. And the way that happened in most instances, because individuals like us, we work, we end up having to take off work in order to make certain that mom or grandma has to get to the doctor's appointment. This now allows that to actually happen where you don't actually have to take off work unless you choose to, and it makes certain that mom or dad or grandma, whoever, can get in to see that doctor in a timely fashion, as opposed to having to wait weeks on end and then having the sun, moon, and stars line up, a doctor availability, and then you being able to take off time.
Right.
I have seen that happen, and we don't have that in our center because of our ability to do transportation for individuals.
And that is also included in their Medicare costs.
It's actually something we absorb. This transportation benefit costs nothing to the member. It is one of those things that we as a center have put it in our business model in order to make certain that, again, we increase the ability for our patients to be able to get to their doctor. And we don't pass any cost on to the patient for doing so.
Awesome. You guys hear that? That's awesome.
Absolutely.
So one of the things, getting back to the topic a little bit in terms of bringing love back into senior health care. So the love part is something that I personally identified as something that is lacking or needed when we talk about senior health care. So with you guys really being senior health care advocates, what are some of the other challenges that you see with senior health care, and what are your plans or GenCare's plans to address some of those gaps. So because nothing is perfect. So what are some of the gaps that you guys have identified and are working to either address or to close those gaps, or even if it's just some information that you would like seniors to have to even take ownership of their own personal journey in terms of health and healing?
One of the things I've seen is, because this is appears for a lot of people to be a new concept, is introducing them to something that they never have had exposure to. And so the challenge for Diane and myself and our team is continuing to tell that story, because sadly, a lot of seniors have been conditioned to accept less, have been conditioned that, all right, it's going to take me 3 months to get a doctor's appointment, and then when I get that appointment, it's going to be 4 hours in the waiting room. So that when we start sharing that, you know what, your doctor is going to spend 20 minutes, can increase that to 40 if need be. Your first appointment is going to be 40 minutes. That sounds like a real foreign concept. It's like, you know, literally when Kennedy was saying we're going to send a man to the moon, it was just like, huh, the moon? That's something I look at, but I never had a chance to actually realize that. And that's what happens. And so what we have as a challenge is being able to bring this concept to individuals and expose them to it, because they've been conditioned for so long to just tolerate less, to accept less in terms of quality of care and quantity of care. You know, and on average, an individual sees their primary care physician about 3 times a year. With the way that we deliver healthcare, they can see their doctor on average about 10 times a year. That's a far different, you know, circumstance. Absolutely. When you're talking 3 versus 10. That is how we are able to get to that reduction of hospitalizations of 38%. Unfortunately, in some communities, it becomes too much the norm that when I'm not feeling well, I go to the emergency room.
Right.
Because that is the most immediate access we can get to healthcare. Being able to call a doctor and say, I'm not feeling well today, can I come and see you, is a very foreign concept. I know it is for me. When I got sick myself, I had to go to a take care clinic at a Walgreens in order to be able to see a doctor. Otherwise, it was to have to wait another week and a half to do that.
To get in, absolutely.
And so that is the reality in the actual medical field today in most traditional settings. So we have the challenge of continuing to tell this story and exposing individuals. In many instances, individuals are personally tied into their doctor because they've been seeing them for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. They may not be happy, but it is what has become the norm that they're used to accepting. And by introducing something different, that there's a different way, they're literally like, their eyes are opened. I had one of my former clients, when I used to be a financial advisor, a couple weeks ago, I was in the center and I looked and I hadn't seen her in years. And she literally was like, Terrence? And I was like, ma'am, how you doing? And so she was like, and I remember she used to go to the county. She used to go to the county hospital, and she said to me that day, I had to get out of there. And I was like, what changed for you? Because I remember talking to her even when I left the financial advising world and I went over to the Medicare Advantage world. I asked her about, you know, considering her, you know, other options, and she didn't change. But she said she got sick and tired of sitting in the lobby over at the county for hours on end. And somewhere in that process, someone had presented this concept to her that GenCare has, and she was delivered, for lack of a better word.
Exactly.
You know? And she's like, I love it here. And literally, she is someone who doesn't drive, that needs transportation. So all of those things are non-issue for her, and she's not having to spend half the day to get the health care that she deserves.
That's awesome. Yeah. So did you want to add anything to that, Diane?
Just a little bit. Now, with GenCare, in addition to trying to keep you out of the hospital, keep you well and home and safe, you can, once you become a GenCare member, you can call GenCare at any given time, 24 hours a day. Someone will answer that phone and address your needs. Wow. If it need be, you need to speak with a doctor, they will get the doctor on call to address that for you. So at no point should you ever feel like you can't access your doctor. They're available 24 hours a day.
Awesome.
Mhm.
That is great. So, what are you all doing and what is in progress in terms of community outreach? Because one of the things that you touched upon that I think is still very key is that Gen Care is a new concept for a lot of individuals. Even those individuals who reside in the communities that Gen Care are in, they really don't know all of the wonderful things that you guys are doing. So what are some of the things that you are doing in terms of community outreach or activities or being able to socialize and get out there in terms of meeting with the individuals who need your healthcare center?
Yes, essentially what Diane, myself, and our team does is every possible event that puts us in front of seniors, we try to be at within our footprint and even beyond. So you may see us at a health fair today. You might see us at your church tomorrow. You might see us at your fraternity or sorority meeting the week after that. And you may see us as well doing bingo, the Alderman's Town Hall. These are all things that we do, as well as things with others, charitable organizations like the ADA and things of that nature, because we do partner with entities within the community that are doing great work as well. In my center earlier this summer, I had a health fair, where we obviously had a table, but the other thing that we did was we brought other resources to the table that are relevant to seniors to, again, add value to the people that we serve on a daily basis, as well as individuals that we get in front of. So we are thirsty to talk to as many people as we possibly can. So we build relationships across the board with everybody that's complementary in this particular area that has the same need or desire to be in front of seniors.
That is awesome. So any upcoming events that you guys want to share with the audience or talk about that they can mark their calendars?
We do. We have an event coming up at our Glenwood location. We're calling it an open house, where you can come out, enjoy some entertainment, meet some of the vendors that we align with. You can have your VIP tour done that day. You can tour our Gen Care location. Glenwood has that open house that is September 9th. And we invite everyone to come out. Even if you're not a senior, maybe you're looking for your mom or your dad or your friend or your neighbor. Come out and see what Gen Care is really about. I'll be there. You can meet me personally. I'll be there. The member support specialists there are going to be providing tours. Rochelle will be there. She's the one who set up the event. You'll be able to meet the front desk. You'll be able to see the doctors that are there. You can actually say, I would like to sit down and have a conversation with the doctor. I want to meet the doctor before I say, yes, let me become a Gen Care member. You can do that.
Absolutely.
And once again, it's free.
And that is at what time? You said September 9th.
10:30 to 2:30, I believe.
Yes.
And the Journey to Wholeness Center was so graciously invited to be a vendor there as well. So we are very excited, and we're going to be giving chair massages.
Nice.
Come get your massage.
I heard about you and didn't even know who I was hearing about.
Right. So do either one of you have any final words before we wrap up?
Before we wrap up, I would like to say that Gen Care Oak Lawn has lots of events coming up that you can, the public can come into. You don't have to be a Gen Care member. One thing that we do have is congestive heart failure classes. And our own doctor, Dr. Iqbal, teaches that class. It's every other Thursday. The first one is going to be on the 1st of September. Then we have one the 15th of September, and then also the 29th of September. That's at 1:30 in the afternoon. Like I said, we do bingo. We have a bingo on the 2nd of September. That's at 12 o'clock. We have Senior Picture Day coming up on the 12th. It's from 12 to 2. All you have to do is come in and say, I'd like to have my picture taken. We will do that for you on that day. We have a Medicare education class. Now, this one is very important. I always stress this to all of our seniors. A lot of times, once they turn 65, they just know they need to go on Medicare. Well, you're not maximizing your Medicare dollars if you don't understand what you're getting into. And if you come into GenCare, come to one of our Medicare education classes, you're able to actually learn more about Medicare. We have one that's going to be on the 16th of September at 1 o'clock, and we invite all the public out to come learn more about Medicare. Okay. Other than that, we have Hear USA on the 21st of September. Come get your hearing tested. It is free. That will be from 9 to 12, and that is September 21st. We have pottery. We do pottery at our location. We have that on September 28th at 10 a.m. You can come out, paint a piece of pottery, and then once that pottery has been fired, we will call you until you come back in and get your pottery. It is yours to keep. And again, everything I've mentioned is at no cost to any of our seniors.
That is awesome. So if someone wanted a listing of all of the activities and events, do you have them out on your website, or how would people be able to get in touch with you? You can actually send it to me and I can put it on our Facebook site as well. I just, if people didn't have an opportunity to write it down, how could they go back and get this information?
Well, one thing you can do is call into our center. And anyone in that center will tell you exactly when anything is happening. We all know. We invite everyone to come out. So if you are interested in attending something at our Oakland location, I would suggest give us a call at the Oakland location.
And that number is?
708-261-0831. I'll say it again for you. It's 708-261-0831.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. And as I said, we will put up this information, the high-level schedule, on our Facebook site as well. So people, when they come and listen to the recording of the radio show, they'll have that information readily available.
Great.
So thank you all very much for joining us. I just want to give our radio audience some information about some activities going on at the Journey to Wholeness Center since I have been away. So just to give you a quick update, we now have the September schedule out, and we have some amazing workshops coming up in September. Just to name a few, opening up to your intuition, we're going to do an Egyptian belly dance class. So we have an Egyptian belly dance instructor that is going to come out and do that class at the center. We're going to do what is Thai body work. A lot of people are interested in understanding more about the benefits of Thai body work, which will also be amazing for seniors. A lot of our senior clients love Thai body work because it gives them the ability to open their joints without them physically having to go through that process. The practitioner helps them move and open up those joints. We're also going to do a workshop in September. Why do I procrastinate? That's helpful for all of us, myself included. That one is going to be September 18th. But you could actually log on to our website for the exact dates for the September workshops. This weekend, we have a few workshops. Saturday, tomorrow at 11, we're doing a workshop on conscious choices. So how do we make choices based upon love and not fear? And understanding that everything is a choice. So this is a very powerful workshop that we're having at the center. That's tomorrow at 11. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., we're having a sound meditation where you can just lay down, relax, and enjoy the vibrations of the gong and other musical instruments. On Sunday, August 28th, a beginner's yoga workshop that starts at 9. At 12, we're going to have a special yoga workshop called Stress Management. It is specific for managing stress. And then at 2 o'clock, we'll have our Transformation Through Dreams workshop. So we have a lot of activities going on at this weekend as well as September. I encourage all of you to log on to our website, journeytowholeness.org to get the schedules and to get more information about those workshops. So as always, thank you for tuning in to Journey to Wholeness Radio on IntellectualRadio.com, and we will be with you again next week. Have a wonderful weekend.